Michigan leads the nation in per-person identity theft complaints, that according to the Federal Trade Commission.
So why is the figure so high in our state? Local businesses could have something to do with that.
Our Jake Parent investigates where some local businesses may be cutting corners when it comes to protecting your identity when you use a payment card.
Well, most of us use a credit card or a debit card pretty much every day, whether you're at a gas pump or at a supermarket. But did you know that by the time you left the pump or loaded up your groceries, that somebody has already tried to steal your card's information?
China and Russia are trying to break into it every 10 seconds.
Steve Opoku sees new attacks pop up constantly.
And we can figure out which country this IP is from. Vietnam.
He monitors security networks small businesses use to protect credit and debit card information. Now, in order to make sure hackers can't get your information, businesses are supposed to abide by a set of standards called PCI DSS, or Payment Card Industry Data Security Standards. These standards include everything from making sure data that companies don't want or need, like your address or phone number, never gets stored in their system, to quarterly scans of your network to detect threats and weaknesses.
In terms of the setup, an average business will spend anywhere from about $2,000 to $5,000 to get the system set up properly, updated. Then for the monitoring, it's cheaper than a cup of coffee a day.
But Opoku says a lot of small businesses don't comply to PCI standards.
The only reason why people are not in compliance is simply because it's not being enforced. And if no one is watching you, we just do whatever we want, unfortunately.
And he's right. There is no governmental body or sole watchdog organization to keep track of PCI compliance. It's up to small businesses themselves to self-assess their security levels, hire a qualified security assessor if required, and submit that information to the bank that processes their card transactions.
Small to mid-sized businesses are considered as low-hanging fruit. Essentially, it's really easy to hack them.
Most of the businesses I reached out to about PCI compliance declined to discuss their compliance status.
Ignorance is not a defense.
Phil Catlett of the Better Business Bureau says the BBB can't enforce PCI standards unless someone files a written complaint with the BBB.
What the experts are saying now is that don't ever consider the option that you have not had your information exposed. So you should approach everyday life in such a way that you just assume that your information is out there.
Catlett says there's a few things you can do to protect yourself. One is to inspect the payment terminal closely before every time you swipe or insert your card.
It's due diligence, like locking the door to your car or locking the door to your home.
And Opoku says it's not a bad idea wherever you shop to ask if they are PCI compliant.
That's not a bad idea, and I believe if consumers start doing that, small business owners will spend a little bit more extra effort to make sure they are protected.
The bottom line is there may not be a clear, exact way to tell if a business is safe. The experts we talk to recommend checking your online statements daily to make sure that there have not been any unauthorized purchases. They say that's the best way to make sure that your credit or debit card information is safe. Jake Barrent for News Channel 3.